In the painting of the Zapotecs and of most of any culture during the classic period, ahead of the character came his name. For example, in this painting that there is a character and in front of him there are some balls and an animal, the balls are the numbers. So if in this image there are 8 balls and a deer, then the character's name is 8 deer. On the top left in front of 8 deer is found as a hook representing the wreath that is the year in which 8 deer was born. The day that the character was born is their name. For example, 8 deer was born in the 8th year in the year 12 wreath, so his name is 8 deer. These are some examples of symbols for names. These are the symbols for days. For example, today June 4 will be 11 Jaguar. On Friday it will be 12 Eagle. On Saturday it will be 13 Voltaire. And on Sunday it will be 1 Movement. The month for them starts in 1 and ends in 13. If today June 4 is 11 Jaguar, the next year it will not be the same. It will maybe have a different number and a different animal. To represent the year, we need a solar triangle, that is the one that looks like an A in the picture. We also need one of the symbols: the cane, the stone, the house, or the rabbit. We also need the numbers. The numbers are the balls, such as in the name. For example, there will be a house inside the solar triangle, and it will be 4 balls representing that is the number 4, so it will be the year 4 house. For example, in this painting, the one that is circled in red is the year and the one that is circled in blue is the date. The date in this painting will be the year 7 cane and the day 10 buzzard. The function of the atla was to penetrate the body of humans. 8 deer used this weapon in wars. The force carried by this weapon is the one that the person who is throwing it has in the arm.
Zapotecas paint murals of Cacatzla. The study of these murals has found multiple styles and influences from the Mayan region, the Gulf Coast, Oaxaca, Teotihuacan, Cholula, and Xochicalco. In 1975, inhabitants of the town of the San Miguel del Milagro, located in the municipality of Nativas in Texla, found by an ancient while working in the land a part of the mural painting that deceived the face of what today is called Vidram. Since then, a series of excavations began that have uncovered in Caxtla. Its name forms Nahuatl and Caxti, which refers to the basket carried to the back to transform God in the associate with rather it names as things because comments of one most important activities of inhabitants. Murals. The murals, which represent one of the most outstanding elements of Cacatzla, were found in different areas of the area known as Great Basement. That is a great platform on which various buildings currently called Building of Columns. The place Building A, the style the Building F, the Temple Venus and Red Temple were built. Materials. For the realization of most of the murals, 5 tones were used: oxide red, orange yellow, Maya blue, smoke black, and white lime, which will be mixed to obtain result secondary colors. The pigments used are minerals of looking origin, such as lime, coal, germat, and jabit. The blue in the murals is also called Maya blue, which obtained from a plagocytic-based clay in the date with indigo.
Monte Alban. Monte Alban, apart from being a wonderful and impressive city, was one of the most important cities in Mesoamerica. Was inhabited by the Zapotecs and finally by the Mixtecs. Monte Alban was built on the top of a mountain center in the central valleys of Oaxaca and functioned as the capital for the Zapotecs. In its moment of greatest development, Monte Alban had about 35,000 inhabitants from the Classic period. In addition, studying architecture, specialists found that Monte Alban had contact with other cultures. Its links with Teotihuacan are notorious. In Monte Alban, the Teotihuacan influence is appreciated in its architecture, ceramics, and mural paintings, among other aspects. At the end of the early Classic, the link with Teotihuacan is broken. In Monte Alban, there are three main structures, all primarily ceremonial functions. The South Platform, that is a two-body construction and the tallest in the city. The Big Ball Court. It's important to say that in Monte Alban there are three ball game courts, but this is the largest with a length of 45 meters. Lastly, the Dancers Building, a Plaza de los Danzantes, is a construction in which various stelae and calendaric anthropomorphic glyphs stand out.
We're going to start with the Zapotecs. The Zapotecs are a cultural entity and a town located in southern Mexico, especially in the state of Oaxaca. The Zapotec civilization originated in the three central valleys of Oaxaca in the late 16th century. The valleys were divided between three different sized societies, separated by no man's land in the middle, today occupied by the city of Oaxaca. Archaeological evidence from the period, such as burned temples and sacrificed captives, suggest that although the three societies share linguistic, cultural, and religious tradition, they also competed against one another. The main city was Monte Alban. The Zapotecs dominate the area about Oaxaca with their city of Monte Alban from centuries. Monte Alban was one of the more ancient Classic period city-states, with sites there as old as 600 BC. After 650 AD, Monte Alban was one of the most powerful cities in Mexico. Zapotec funerary urn 300 to 800 AD, Monte Alban. The Zapotecs built monumental tombs in which they replaced urns with offerings, often with the face of the deceased upon them. The headdress is a mask of the eagle and jaguar. Monte Alban had 5 stages. Around the 800s, the city began to lose its power, and by the 900s AD, the city was abandoned. However, the Zapotec culture will remain vigorous, and other cities, such as their capital, at Saquila, remained. The Zapotec city of Mitla are masterpieces of classical architecture with dazzling geometric pattern. Approximately in the middle of the 15th century, there was another ethnic group called the Mixtecs. This formed strategic and warlike alliance with the Zapotecs to resist and fight the Aztec people. The alliance war in order to protect the commercial territory that passed through Guatemala, Veracruz, and Chiapas. Would achieve victory by holding Bengala and a rocky mountain on sight, thanks to the command of King Cosijueza. The relationship between the Mixtecs and the Zapotecs was even in the religiosity, in the practice of human sacrifices to pay tribute to the gods. This was considered to return to the natural state of things and be prospered. By the other hand, we have the Mixtecs. The term Mixtec comes from the Nahuatl word Mixtecapan, or place of the cloud people. The area in which Mixtec is spoken is known as the Mixteca. The Mixtecs are indigenous Mesoamerican people inhabiting the region known as La Mixteca, which covers part of the Mexican state of Oaxaca, Guerrero, and Puebla. Though the Mixtecs remain today, they were most prominent in the 11th century and the following years until they were conquered by the Spanish and their allies in the 16th century. In pre-Columbian times, the Mixtecs were one of the major cities of Mesoamerica. Important ancient centers of the Mixtec include the ancient capital of Tilantongo, as well as the sites of Achihuatla, Huilapan, Huajuapan, Mitla, Tlaxiaco, Tututepec, Huxtlahuaca, and Yucuyudahui. The Mixtecs also made major constructions at the ancient city of Monte Alban, which had originated as a Zapotec city before the Mixtec gained control of it. The work of Mixtec artisans who produced work in stone, wood, and metal were well regarded through ancient Mesoamerica. There were three zones from the Mixtec religion, that were the Mixteca Alta, Mixteca Baja, and the Mixteca de la Costa. At the end of the pre-Hispanic period, the Mixtec region was conquered by the Aztecs. The region became part of the Aztec Empire, and Mixtecs had to pay tribute to the Aztec Emperor with gold and metal works, precious stones, and the turquoise decorations, from which they were so famous. Centuries later, some of these artworks were found by archaeologists digging in the great temple of Tenochtitlan, the capital of the Aztecs. As an interesting fact, the Mixtecs as artists were known for their exceptional mastery of jewelry, in which gold and turquoise figured prominently. The intricate metalwork of Mixtec goldsmiths formed an important part of the tribute the Mixtec had to pay to the Aztecs during the part of their history.
Religious characteristics that mean the eternal flight between powers. The flying field represents the sky, and the bull represents the sun. My gold was assassinated value because they considered the excrement of the gods. They used bones or pottery to make sculptures. The social structure formed by strata or hierarchies. At the top was the king, who ruled the city-state, followed by the nobles who were in charge of the administration and at a lower each taxes on or goods or services. Through their administrations who were part of the nobility, each Mixtec kingdom related to each other through alliances or confrontations. Trade agreements that allowed them to exchange precious objects. The main source of Mixtec wealth was agriculture. They planted corn, chili, beans, squash, and also grew cocoa and cotton. The great part of the civilization that took place between the 15th and the 2nd centuries before Christ in southern Mexico, current states of Oaxaca, Puebla, and Guerrero. They shared various cultural traits with their Zapotec neighbors, such as the language and even their name. Both cultures called themselves the people of the clouds. The Mixtec organized into independent kingdoms or city-states. Each